Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about the One Piece card game. This is continuing my set review series where I am reviewing OP03 Pillars of Strength. This is episode 4 in this series. If you've not seen the previous ones, you should check those out up there. I'm going to be talking about all of the purple cards today, but before I do that, I do just want to say I've got a lot of deck profiles scheduled to be coming out. I've got more set reviews. Subscribe to the channel. 70% of you are not. You'll be notified when those go out, and I think they're going to be very, very useful moving into the competitive season for OP03, which is looking to be interesting. So also, if you're interested in competitively focused deck guides, like very in-depth, you can find those on my Patreon, linked in the description. At the time you're seeing this, there should be samples up on the channel of the OP02 guides and the OP01 guide. It was just kid at the time, so you should check those out. And if you find the content you get there like useful, then know that there is the same stuff for OP03 on my Patreon right now, and you should check it out. So that's it for that shilling. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. So we are talking about purple today, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm going to say this up front. Purple is rough. Purple is very rough in this set. Let's talk about why. Iceberg. So this is your leader. Water 7 Galileo Company traded. This leader cannot attack. And then activate main, Don -1, you may rest this leader to play a Galileo Company that costs 5 or less from your hand. So when we saw this, we thought, okay, but that's not bad, right? Like, okay, I can't attack, but I'm cheating out very, very sort of advantageous, like high-cost units. That must be decent. But of course, it turns out that being this slow in a format this fast means that you're going to be in for a bit of trouble. Not necessarily bad intrinsically, but obviously very dependent on the support pieces, right? This leader is only as good as the units you are playing. So what are the units we're playing? Let's talk about all those first, right? Before we go through the other stuff, let's talk about the 5 costs, right? These are the big ones that you're going to want to be playing, okay? Start with Rob Lucci. This is a 5/6, 1k counter, when attacking, Don -1, tap a 5 cost or lower. Okay, that's pretty good. Lets you, like, trade for board, lets you tap down blockers, you know, with 1 Donny 7k. Alright, that's pretty good. Decent start. What else we got? We got Peeply Lulu. This is, again, a 5/5. Don 1 when attacking. If your leader's Galileo, ramp a Don and rest it. Okay, that's pretty good. You're getting a Don ramp. Alright, that's not bad. Okay, what else we got? We got Paulie. This is a 5/6. On play, pay 2, ramp a Don, set it as active, and if you have 8 or more Don, KO one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 4 or less. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Spoiler, Paulie is by far the best, and actually can see play outside of this deck. But yeah, I mean, this is a good generic ramp tool until he gets power crept in OP04. Then we got Tarstones. It's a 5/6, 1k counter on KO. If your leader has Galileo, you ramp 1. Okay. And Kaku, Don -1, banish. Okay, and we sort of arrived at the issue here, right? Which is, you're getting one of these down a turn, right? So let's say you go first. So you're playing at maximum velocity, okay? Turn 1, you cheat something out. You get down, I don't know, a Kaku or something. Turn 2, you cheat out a Lucci. You can play something else. You've been going Don -1, right? So something also to clarify that I should point out is we also have this ramp stage here, Galileo Company, which says you may tap it to add a Don. Obviously, that doesn't help you when you're needing to go Don- on your first couple turns, so you might not be getting this out immediately. But let's say, for the sake of argument, you pass turn 1 and you get this out, and then you can start playing. Right, so turn 1, you play Galileo Company, you ramp, you Don -1, you play a 5 cost. Turn 2, you hard play a 5 cost, you ramp, and then you play another 5 cost out. And then do you attack with the 5 cost you played last turn? This will be your only attack for the turn, and your opponent is definitely going to kill whatever you just attack with, right? Because going into turn 3, now they'll be on 6 Don, which means they can very easily commit 3 Don if they want to their leader and just swing into whatever the hell you just attacked with. Are you going to drop 2 cards from hand to protect it? I mean, you could, but do you want to? That's going to feel kind of bad. And again, you sort of, at best, right, you're putting out 2 5 costs a turn. None of them have rush. There's a 6 costed rush. We'll talk about them in a moment, but none of them have rush. So you are sort of always unable to react, and your opponent can predict how you can react based on what they see in front of them. There's sort of an issue with One Piece decks is when they are too honest, they are just kind of bad, usually, right? This is a major problem. So, like, whilst you might think, oh, hold on a minute, surely this should be quite good, though, because what I can do is spend the first few turns cheating out, like, multiple 5 costs, I can build up a big board, and then later in the game, because I'm also ramping, I can start slamming down, like, you know, the top end that Kaido has, right? Like, you know, I can play my 9-cost Kaido, I can play my 7-cost King. And yeah, that's okay, but it's also still really slow, right? One of the reasons that Kaido is sort of able to get away with this is the fact that, firstly, it's got 10-cost Kaido to just immediately deal with, like, your opponent's board, but then also it has access to a burn effect, right? Like, you're able to just burn your opponent down, and that's something that immediately sort of evens the odds, right? Iceberg doesn't have that. And that's a real big issue. So there's sort of a bit of a rant here when we just sort of talked about the big pieces, but I wanted to kind of get that out of the way just so you sort of have context. You could feel free to try this deck out for yourself. I think if you do, you will find yourself quite frustrated, as I did. But what else have we got? Okay, well, we got 4-cost here, Khalifa. This is a 4-4, 2k counter, 1 attacking Don -1, draw 2, pitch 1. This is pretty good, but I guarantee you this is not lasting more than 1 turn. It's 1 Don for a 6k leader swing into it. Kiwi and Mozu will never see play, it's a vanilla. Kokoro, this is a 1-2, which is an on-play, top 5 for Water 7, so obviously staple 4 of. This is typically what you want to be like playing turn 1. Zambai, this is a 3-2 blocker, and then Don -1. If your leader has Water 7, you draw 1 on play. That's okay, it's not too bad. I mean, it doesn't have counter, which obviously sucks a bit, and it's a chump blocker in a format full of 5-cost Marcos, so that also isn't great, but you know, it's fine. Chimney and Gonne is another blocker, so you got multiple blockers in the deck. And Monkey D. Luffy is a 6-7 on play, Don -1, trash a 5-cost to give this card rush. And that's sort of it for the Water 7 support, right? Like, this is kind of it. That's your deck, right? Like, that's what you're playing, with maybe a few older pieces. And you can see how maybe this ends up not being the best deck in the world. Maybe there are some issues. It turns out that it's just better to play Impel Down stuff in Kaido. Like, that's just better. And it kind of sucks, because, like, as you can see, right, like, the best card I read out there was pretty much poorly, which I would rate as maybe a 6 out of 10 card. At a 7 and a push. So it's just a collection of mediocre cards with a leader that can't attack. Now, it's also 5 life. With the knowledge of Iceberg, I think OP04 also has leaders that can't attack, but they're 2 color and 5 life. So I think in hindsight, they probably would have made Iceberg 6 life. Or something, right? To just give it something else, or I don't know, 6k base, or something slightly broken about it to like kind of make up for that fact. But yeah, overall, very mid pieces of support there, but that's not all. We've also got Mina Zebra, which is a 4-5, 1k counter with Banish and on KO if your leader is Impel Down, Rampadon. So this immediately goes into the Magellan deck. And then Mino Rhinoceros, which is a 3-5 with an on KO to draw 2, discard 1 if your leader is Impel Down. So these are pieces for Magellan that make that deck much better. Again, not by virtue of like Magellan itself being any good, but just by virtue of like these units being quite good. Again, I still think you would want to be playing Kaido because ramp is just better than whatever you're getting here, and then just ramping into big things. But obviously at this point in the game, that level of inconsistency is really starting to harm the viability of the deck. Okay, let's talk about the events. We've got Gum Gum Jet Gatling. This is a 0-cost event. Trash 1 to give 3k, and then the trigger Rampadon. So we saw one of these for blue in set 2, and you know, it makes sense that purple's going to get these. Spoiler alert, every color is going to end up with these sooner rather than later. This is fine, it's pretty good. Then we got Hull Dismantler Slash. This is a 1-cost event. Don -1 main if your leader is Water 7, k out one of your opponent's characters to the cost of 2 or less. So yep, that is obviously garbage. And then Top Knot. This is a 2-cost event. Don -1, return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less to the bottom of its owner's deck, and the trigger activates main. This is so close to being really, really good. I wish it was like a 3 and it could bot deck a 5. Like, that might have been like good enough for this card to see like noticeable levels of play. Now, it's nice that this is generic, and this is kind of a nice card to play in Zephyr, I'll say. Like, Zephyr really likes this card because this is suddenly a 2-cost bot deck 9 after your Kuzan turn, which is good, pretty good. Yeah, that's sort of the situation. That's it for purple. So as you can imagine, this was very disappointing for purple players everywhere when these were first getting shown, and yeah, it's not good. I'll be honest, it's not good, lads. Once again, you are playing Kaido for another set in a row. Good luck to you. Yeah, I don't know. I would be interested to see if you guys have cooked up some OP03 purple lists that are actually really, really good, that are performing well. I'd love to see those in the comment section down below. Like, join my Discord, it's linked in the description. You can let me know there. That'd be very, very cool. We can run some games on Sim or something. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, please do like the channel, subscribe. Please do like the video and subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content. Of course, plenty of OP03 content coming onto the channel, so stick around for that. Again, check out my Patreon if you want to help support the channel, or check out those guides. But that is it for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.